So, Remi, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being our special guest. This is
welcome.
This is utterly beyond awesome. And let me just get the chat here so we can see what's happening. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Mr. Sunshine here is
Mr. Sunshine
is the inimitable Mr. Remi Moore, who, as I said earlier, has I'm just going to adjust the. Whoops. There we go. So it just stays out of the focus there. Who did the who did the music for our intro and has done a lot of music for a lot of people. He has been on YouTube, I think, since 2014, if I just remember checking.
That's pretty good.
And one thing that I will say about Mr. Remi Moore is that he's probably one of the... Oh, it sounds so weird when I talk to my... I get the echo in my skull when I talk like that. Is how hard he works doing the business, the job, the maintenance of keeping up with his channel and his subscribers and the people that support him and the ones that he supports. So, welcome, Remi. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
It's weird when you're live, eh? We none of you guys know, but Remi and I tested the connection last night. I wanted to see how it looked, and I think neither of us shut up at all for like 25 minutes.
That's true. It just went so smoothly.
Quick, really quick.
Yeah. I'm just going to turn up the audio just slightly here, and let me know if anybody out there, if it sounds too low or what, anything like that. So.
Yeah, let me know if you can hear me okay.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Where do we begin? Yeah, okay, what I'm going to do...
I was saying as soon as I walked in the room, I'm in the middle of a thunderstorm here, so it was saying you may experience connection problems across my screen, so...
Oh, okay. And I think when you first signed on, it said my internet connection was unstable, but...
that's the same message I got.
Yeah, so I don't know. It looks strong from here, and I'm getting a constant almost 99,000 kilobits per second output through the stream. So it looks pretty good. And if anybody out there wants to tell us how amazing this looks, please feel free. I think Nine Scatudio said. Suits him well, Mr. Sunshine.
Yes.
But that was the idea, and I think I sort of had this sort of thing in mind when I was, thinking over like how to do having a guest and such. So, and I think it turned out pretty well. I'm pretty pleased with how it looks. So,
yeah, it looked good. It was a nice way to fit a third person in.
Yeah, exactly, eh? And this way we still keep our invisibility suits on.
Yes.
And
I was surprised when you two when we did the test run yesterday that Shelly had on glasses.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right, eh? Because there's
so many lights and everything.
All the lights on?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe. Well, it was for a little short term. It's
some
not
of the
so
lights
bad,
anyway.
I just thought I'd wanted to address that. I remember reading on your About page that you had been suffering from a brain tumor, and I mentioned that last night, and it was if it was one of the subjects that you'd prefer to stay away from, and then you said, well, it's okay because I have good news in regards to that.
Yes, that sounds good.
Yeah, I actually do. It's not a particularly good tumor. It's in a bad spot. It's right there on my brainstem. It's it's in a bad area, not an area that they want to biopsy. It's not an area that they want to operate on. Right. And so I'd been having a few problems, but the problems had kind of eased up lately. And usually when I do start to have problems, it seems like 2 to 4 weeks later, they go away. It's like my brain reconfigures or readjusts to, make up for it or build new neural pathways or whatever exactly is going on there. Maybe the pressure is just reducing. I don't know. But the point is, we were doing MRIs to kind of check the progress, and I've had zero growth
For over how much?
for 4 months.
Oh, that's good.
So I
it's
gather that's
stabilized?
good. Then.
And that's really that's really good because I mean, it's in, like I said, it's in a really bad spot. It doesn't need to grow at all.
Are you taking any kind of like chemotherapy or anything like that?
No, but I will confess I did use CBD oil.
Oh well, that's.
I have been. I was at first. I was like, everybody's like, oh, do this. It's like whatever. But I kept looking at actual research, more research, and I was like, you know what? I don't have anything to lose.
Well, exactly.
Okay.
And when you say research, that's actually pretty important component of self-care, which is an aspect of self-advocacy. So the more knowledge you have about whatever the condition is you have, the better able you are to communicate how you're going through the process of this challenge, vis-a-vis treatment options and that sort of thing. So that's an extremely strong, good policy for anybody with any condition to do. So that's very commendable.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. And as far as CBD oils and that sort of thing, and I think that's actually extremely topical now. In any case, I'm not sure if you're aware, but Canada is about to legalize marijuana come October, I think, and that's nationally. We'll be the first G7 country to nationally legalize the recreational use of marijuana, and I know that there's a very strong movement to broaden medical access in the United States, and that more and more states are opening access to marijuana products for medical uses, and that eventually, I suspect, it's just the groundswell of need will overturn this sort of regressive prohibitionary legislation that we've had for so many decades. So, as far as having any qualms about it, I wouldn't really worry about it so much. It's like I think the only real issue is for young individuals who are below 18 start dabbling with it, because there's a the young brains still haven't developed, and I think it behooves young people to wait at least until they're 18 or of age before they indulge. So.
I was just thinking back on high school when you said that.
Well, I grew up in the 70s, 80s, and there were the stoners, and I don't know if that's really changed all that much, over the years. So.
No, when I was in school, there was a group for everything.
Oh yeah. I was part of the brains, like the nerd.
I guess I was at almost Bad Kids Theater group. The kind
I can see that.
May or may not even show up to school.
Well, touching
or show up just for like theater, and they're like, "Where were you in math class? What math class?"
Math.
Well, it doesn't appeal to everybody.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Including me.
Fish says, I guess I'm moving to Canada. Yeah, Canada's we're pretty, in some ways we have something. Anyway, I don't want to get into that. Yeah. Let's concentrate more on Mr. Remi Moore here. And I, another thing I've discovered was, just a moment. Nines Catudia says, I'm just hoping that this will. I have to take this out. I get this weird echo in my head when I talk. Oh. I'm weird. I have an allergy to it. Yes, the actual allergy. If I smell any, I get really sick. Do not want to smoke it. Want it smoked on every street corner. Oh, I understand completely. And I think one of the things that we have to sort of what's the word? Propagate, I think, is respect for other people that wouldn't and don't care for it. I mean, I find tobacco. I smoked tobacco for 30 years, and I really don't mind the smell of tobacco at all. Since I quit, it still doesn't bother me. But raw marijuana, it's so pungent. I find it sets my teeth on edge.
It's very loud.
you know.
No.
So, but just getting back to what I was saying is like I understand you're a poet first before you were this musician here on YouTube. And
Right,
I thought that
yeah.
was fascinating because I watched
Yeah,
one of your
didn't
videos.
realize.
I can't remember what it was.
Overthought, I think.
Overthought. Yeah, I remember leaving a comment, and it just struck me how strong that the I won't say your lyrics, but the words, the language used, and it was quite affecting, and I was very impressed with your crafting. so
My storytelling.
yeah. So I thought that was pretty fascinating, and above and beyond that too is the live streams that you do, and I catch myself wandering around the back alleys of YouTube sometimes, and for some reason or another, there you are with with your stream and with that ambient and the cry of aloneness that sort of seems to echo around, and as you said, I think it's designed to attract people who are a little unhappy with where they are.
Well, the music is like just set up to attract people with particular moods. There is that mood of isolation, and there is that mood of depression, and then there's that mood of like rage.
Yeah, there's an undertow of that seems to come through. I think So.
Well, it feels right. I mean, anytime I've gone there, the music it just draws me in.
I'm just going to call up your page, Remi, and then we'll have a quick look in case anybody hasn't seen it. So transition over to that. There we are. There we have I've changed this around a little bit too. Now we've got our tiny little heads here at the bottom. Oh, let me get rid of this, and so you can still see us. This is Remi Moore's page, and you can see it's there is that let me see, when was it, Overthought. Yeah, here, this is it, and look, it's pretty. Oh, and there's this one. I don't think I've seen that one. I'll have to look at that one too. 106,000 views, 69,000 views.
Wow.
And yeah, and
That's good.
Those have been on there for like a few years though.
Oh, have they?
Still.
Well, it just says 1 year.
Or 1 year, yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty
really
good.
That
good.
feels like a couple of years in YouTube.
True enough.
It does it ever. I had. I'm just going to switch back now here. Let's see, because if I don't look at myself when I'm doing, I feel like I'm floating away a little bit.
Well, you were in space after all.
Yeah. Let me see. Transition back. There we go.
0G and all that.
Yeah. One of the things I find, about the back, YouTube, how quickly things move is that I have one of my videos that's 2 years old. Somebody left a comment yesterday about it. It's where how to cut out a picture in PaintShop Pro, and it was 2016 is the date on it. It's like just 2 years, and it feels like an age away, an absolute and total age away. And I'm just wondering if how like you said, like how do you feel about how quickly time moves here on YouTube?
It's strange because I have a video that I've been working on for 2 months. It's just got this. It's one of those videos that can be like really great or really just crap, and I want it to be the really great one.
Oh, sure.
And it's been so long. I feel like my subscribers have even lost interest in that storyline or that's that whole little thing that I was doing. That was part of the little Outworld thing. The editing just got so intense that it was just like I can't keep up. I'm like, maybe I should just turn this into one big long hour-long thing and then just put it on YouTube or something. But it's like you said, it's like the time has passed so much now that I'm not even experiencing the same feelings. I don't have the same ideas, and it's just like I don't want to post this.
Yeah. I feel that way about, I've got some stuff that I filmed. It's about the computer there, the breakdown and the conversion to the water system. And excuse me, I did so much filming over it, and then all this stuff happened in February, and I just lost track of that, lost interest in that, and now it just seems too old and too far away to get back, And things are moving. I think, I don't know what it is. I think maybe how we're exposed to each other and stuff, like we're all improving at this sort of tremendous rate. It's kind of, like the stuff that the people are putting out is getting better and better, faster and faster, I think,
It seems that way.
Or it seems that way.
I think it is that way.
Our intelligence growth at a geometric rate.
Yes.
Yeah. In case you're just joining us, this is our guest today is Mr. Remi Moore, who is one of the musician, composers, poets on YouTube who has
Epic
worked.
fails.
Sorry.
Nothing. Go ahead.
Who has worked tremendously hard to build his channel from nothing. Post November, the apocalypse to now near 2,500 subscribers, and I just want to acknowledge the amount of work and input that he's really done. And Mr. Healthy Vegan Living, wow, floating heads, thanks for visiting me, sure appreciate it. Thank you for joining our live stream.
Hello.
I remember
Welcome to
you
the live
well.
stream of floating heads.
That's right, the floating heads. And
Heads
the
in
sun.
space.
The sun. Whoops, I can't. There, the sun. There.
Oh, okay.
Let's
Careful,
see.
don't burn yourself.
Don't burn myself.
Yeah, seriously.
I was just going to say to Healthy Vegan, I remember you, this was back in last February there when we were all flailing about trying to get to this deadline. And you were one of the people that had a hard time saying, well, how do I ensure that I'm going to get, response back if I help somebody else? And I said to you, and I remember saying to you, I said, you have to trust. You have to trust that people are going to be basically good and follow through and not leave you hanging, and here we are 6 or 7 months later, and thank you for coming by, and this is the message. We're still all in this together, and we have to, I think those of us that have held to that ideal are floating.
Yeah, everyone was really unsure in the beginning. They were like, is this going to work? Is this group even going to make it?
I think part of that is that we are, there's a lot of fear that gets thrown around, and fear, uncertainty, doubt, FUD. And that is, we are not supposed to trust each other. We are supposed to trust the people that tell us what it is that's good for us. We're not allowed
Sorry,
to.
but
we're not supposed to, figure things out for ourselves. We're not supposed to make, and yet here they are. They've handed us this platform where we can basically, say whatever we want, and
you're not allowed to say whatever you want.
Or they try and convince us that it's not worth the effort or the trouble.
Almost.
I'm sorry, Remi.
You can say what you want. Almost.
Yes, almost.
Yeah.
But not quite. Did you give Mr. Remi Moore some confetti?
Oh no, I can't now because
you
because
can't.
He'll disappear. I don't have the confetti.
Oh, sorry.
So that's why
I don't want to make you
that.
disappear. That
I
wouldn't
don't.
be good.
The sun will explode.
Oh, that's not good.
You'll get transferred. Yeah. See, I'd have to put it on. Well, anyway.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those limitations that I'm suffering.
Oh, okay.
It made me hot there.
And if I go, you're all gone.
Supernova.
Take
the sun.
Wow. Let's see, Nines Studio. I absolutely agree, and I know that YouTube does have a fair algorithm. The accusations of dismissing small channels is wrong. It took us 5 months, and guess what, lol. Yeah, and
yeah, I agree. A lot of people will complain about, they're not showing small YouTubers, but really there's so many of us. How could they? How could they really?
And it's hard to break out. It's hard to, do something that's unique, that appeals to enough people and
from a business perspective, it is kind of risky. You don't know what kind of video is going to go up.
Yeah. But I mean, for myself, I've been on YouTube for 10 years, and I think, I think they.
Yeah, I do think there should be exceptions to people with longevity or good standing and things like that. They could really.
And that's what really hurt the most was the fact that they didn't even bother to consider that. They just lumped everybody together, and that's it. You're out. So and that's what hurt.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful that we managed to. I mean, that was, I don't know. I still haven't gotten over it, and I don't know. I feel traumatized, I guess, by the whole experience. But but it's I'm glad to sit here in July or late July and still have my monetization and look.
I was on another site like YouTube, and so I kind of know what you mean. It was called New Me, and it was monetized, and it was videos. And I'd actually, joined it after YouTube and started making more money than YouTube. And I got really close to a payout, and the site shut down. I just went to go there one day, and it didn't even exist. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Oh my God!
And that was quite a few people, that
left out in the cold like that.
Site.
Oh, jeez.
And that's
why I've been hesitant about other places like DTube and places like that.
Well, exactly, and that's the problem. It's difficult for other sites to get
traction.
No, what's that thing? Where it gets too big enough that it starts.
They got too big too fast. They couldn't afford to keep up with what they were trying to do.
Oh, okay. But there's another one to it too, where it doesn't take off because it never attracts enough people to take off. What is that term? It's like it's like a tipping point. It escapes me now. It's terrible.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this is wow. I'm just taking it in. I like to stop a second and just sort of revel in how things have turned out, and I never could have imagined, 6 months ago or whatever, sitting here with you and the people in the chat doing a live stream and having like the special effects and everything, working and I'm really glad that it does.
Yeah, I'm thrilled at the way it worked out, because I'm the same as you. I didn't think that I would be on live streams. I didn't think I'd be chatting with people, and I certainly didn't think I would get as close to people as I have.
That's a really big thing too. I like I said, I've been on YouTube for like 10 years or so, but I've never ever connected with anybody. I was always working in a sort of like isolated thing by myself. I mean, I was never connected to any community. I wasn't part of.
You mean like a vacuum?
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, vacuum. Ooh, burn. No, but I was never like the.
Sorry.
Oh, what's my favorite drink? Jeez.
Alcoholic or otherwise?
Yeah,
Alcohol.
I don't really drink alcohol. That's the trouble.
If you did.
Oh, if I did. I was looking at Remy Martin XO there. I worked as a waiter for 10 years, so I like those nice cognacs actually. So
give me vodka any day.
Yeah.
Vodka and chess.
Yeah,
I like vodka and I like tequila.
I like vodka too. I like the Stolzenaya. I always used to have like a frozen bottle in the fridge, like for emergencies.
I think we should get another. We need to have another one of those for emergency purposes.
Yeah. Well, I've decided that if I'm still alive when I'm 65, I better have a stash of alcohol there that I can, because I'm starting drinking again. Oh, I see. Me and Remy have a thing going. Since we can't yet meet in reality, we can sell shots together. Oh, I see. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, you don't want to see me drunk. No way. I got a contact. God, the good one has said it's nearly time to go to the pub. I misread that. I thought you said you could go to work, go to your job. So I was going to say goodbye. Maybe it's goodbye for you anyway. But. If you do leave us thank you for coming. It was really nice to see you, and I don't know why you even bother with the mask, honestly. I mean, unless you have this sort of oh my God,
what happened?
Nice Katuja just gave us a
oh wow
a monster chat. I mean
a monster chat.
Monster
That's right.
chat.
Wow, a monster chat.
Oh, super chat. That's what it is. I don't even know what the name is. Thank you so. Holly, thank you so much.
Holly, you just stunned him. He doesn't even know.
Yeah, so I am beyond
speech.
Yeah,
Lost for words.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
it means a
you.
lot.
Oops.
It really does. Oh, did I burn out? your-
No. I just I dropped part of the cord and it's yanking the earplugs out of my ears. I had to fix
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yes,
thank you,
thank
Holly,
you.
again. I really
Wow.
appreciate it. I mean, really. I don't know what to say. I'm not shy now.
Holly is awesome.
Oh, there's something that struck me. You
If you
said
like it, please.
exactly.
All together now.
If you like it, please subscribe. Oh, that's so cute when Holly does that. I mean, 9.
What were you going to say? I'm sorry. I've got my glasses all fucked up now. Oh.
Well, it is hot in here. Hot in space. That doesn't make sense. Well, we're so close to the sun.
Oh, yeah. So close to the
Yes,
sun.
that would do it. Yes. Oh, yes. Well, when we were talking yesterday, I was kind of stunned that you said that you didn't catch on to, playing musical instruments, I guess, all that easily, but I don't know, it sort of followed after your poetry that I don't know, it just sort of worked somehow.
I learned like I was in band and things like that, so I learned how to play musical instruments, but I never learned how to compose. I always just learned kind of how to play, and I wasn't that great at playing, but I really wanted to make music, and I tried and tried, and my music just sounded like crap. I was like, whoa,
well, something
it sounded like a broken
somewhere.
music box. So I kept trying and I kept reading, and I just gave up. And then I did the poetry, and then to compete with other people doing poetry, they were doing the spoken word and putting the music with it. I was trying to find music. I got tired of trying to find royalty-free music, but I started finding free software to make music, and I said, well, let's try this. And I got that, and I didn't know how to use it, so I started watching tutorials, and I was like, why don't I watch music theory tutorials? And I just dove into it, and just music theory after music theory after music theory, and it all started making sense. I mean, I would watch the classes from Berkeley. I would watch anything I could find that was available online.
Wow.
And it really started sinking, and I could make the songs I wanted to make. I could listen to the people that always inspired me, and I could understand what they were doing and why they were doing it, how they were getting those sounds.
Wow.
And I just got really thrilled with it. And I was like, oh, forget the poetry. I can make music.
Well, this way you can use the poetry for lyrics and so on.
And I have. I actually did I did a song with Alicia Perron from Fans of Jimmy Century. We wrote a song together, and she has actually performed it, and I just have never released it. I have that.
Wow.
She's read some of my poetry. She did that on my channel as well. But that's another music artist, and she's way bigger than I am. She's worked with Lady Gaga and people like that. I'm not. I'm lucky to work with her, much less Lady Gaga.
Oh, well, pretty impressive.
Yeah, and they sound great, and they're doing really good. And she's based out of Las Vegas.
Wow. Oh, that's neat. Well, I love the music you do. Like, I've listened to some of your late night music that you put on there.
Streams from the mothership.
Streams from the mothership, yes. Thank you.
Actually, that sort of begs the
Words
question,
failed
too. You mentioned a chord as one of the instruments you use, or, do you mind talking
Oh,
about
yeah. I do, I like chord. I use a monologue as a synthesizer for a lot of things, and I do want to get better synthesizers. I really like the sound of a real synth versus, computer generated synth sounds. There is
with actual patch cables and stuff like that. Is that what you're?
Yeah, if you actually have an analog synth as opposed to a digital synthesizer, the sound difference is completely different. It's a completely different sound. It's synthesizers are like organs. It's like living. The current goes through it, and you can hear a heartbeat in the music,
sort of
or in the tones, or
Is this the Moog synthesizer, that kind of deal, where you?
Yeah, like the '80s synthesizers. Would begin a lot of stuff from Michael Jackson to Eurythmics, those kind of synthesizers.
Kraftwerk, of course.
Yeah, Kraftwerk, yeah. Almost any kind of dark wave kind of music. Yeah, they all use the analog synths.
Oh, okay. I'll have to keep that term dark wave in mind as well. So, yeah, we've hit the 50-minute mark. Do you want to stay on, Remi, and finish?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, that'd be cool.
This is fun.
Yeah. Well, we're having Oh, I still haven't gotten over that $20 that the Catudio sent us. It's like, oh my God.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Blown away.
Holly is awesome. And she has such a great channel. I mean, she really works hard on her production.
I know.
Too.
I think I remember doing a shout out for her, and I was, looking up. I gotta take that out. Looking up her stuff, and they, the work she's actually done on her. I mean, I'm sorry, but take the attention away from you, Remi. But
yeah, what's the idea?
The work she's done on her, website, and cat people they're loyal. They have their.
Oh, I enjoy her channel.
Yeah, and you do. Sorry to ask you directly, but Holly, do you do the stream? You just do that on the Tuesday, right? If I'm correct, I think you just do the Tuesday afternoon stream generally. Because Shelley and I were discussing about exposure and how I think we touched on this last night a little bit too, Remi, about how you can overexpose yourself if you do too many live streams and so you burn out your audience, you burn out yourself, and you start repeating your stories all the time, and I think that's a risk that we have, and which is why I think having guests and having different things to explore and discuss is sort of like a self-defense mechanism almost to keep yourself vibrant and fresh and moving forward, right? So that's why I asked. I was wondering. I think you only just do the one show a week, if I'm not mistaken. 2-hour streams on Tuesday. Okay. And if she finds it works best, I have a very loyal audience. Yeah, and I know, and it grows slightly every time. Well, that's great,
good.
And you have this sort of touch with the animals that's really special. I have to commend you, and that's just awesome. So I said it.
Well, Holly always, lets us know what's going on too. Some cat owners who do little, live streams or something, just put the camera on the cat and that's that. But Holly gives you a story. She gives you updates. She engages with you while you're there. So that makes it, really fun.
And and she's very, what's the word? A strong friendliness. There's nothing weak about you at all either, which is nice. A very cat-like personality on top of that. Just mentioning here, Healthy Vegan Living says, "Hey, there are so many people and viewers who need this. It took me a long time to understand that we all need each other, and we need you to help us see it." And that's it exactly. We do need each other, and you guys here, like the 4 of us, 5 of us here, and the other people maybe not speaking in the chat. This is where it's at. And so much of and we're all strangers. We really are. I mean, the only thing we have
Well, you mean because we've never met each other personally?
Right. But we have this. I think you can sort of see and sense things about that. And you won't believe this, Shelley. Nines Coutudia says, "But Remi, it is people like you who inspire me. Did you guys, Coriel's fragment, know that Remi takes care of 19 cats?" No, I didn't.
19? I had no idea.
Oh my God!
Wow.
I saw one last night behind him there, like a little black cat
19.
there. I was going to mention that. I never said anything, but wow, that's amazing.
That is. That must be fun.
I had like 5 or 6 of my own for the longest time, and then it just happened one day that I decided to foster a couple, and that turned into a couple more, and turned into a couple more, and I fostered more than I adopted out. So
wow,
I'm doing it wrong.
Well, my gosh, congratulations.
Well, you do get attached. I don't know. I did think I would have trouble fostering animals because I would never want to part from them.
I think that's what happened.
That sounds like a lot, but
that.
I do have space for them here. I didn't.
That's good.
Like I lived in a small apartment before, and I still had like 7 or 9 there. But
wow, that must have been something.
They have their own space. There's like usually 2 or 3 cats hanging out in a room somewhere, and so they're not overcrowded or anything.
Well, that's
It's
yeah.
still,
I got
that number
you had
down a little bit. I think 9's a safer number than 19.
Excuse me.
He's more easily manageable anyway.
Wow, that's incredible. I don't know what to say now.
Well, cats are wonderful company.
I blanked out.
That happens.
Yeah.
My cats have their own democracy and everything.
Oh,
What's
they do.
What is it?
Yeah.
I was going to say hive, but it's not a hive. But what is it they call? It's a. They have this sort of a hierarchy, like like people think that cats are
They do, yeah.
they're
Yeah,
like
I can,
loners.
I can
and
already
that, but
tell
they
you
need
who
dens, I think, isn't it?
runs it all the way down.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly. They commune quite well. They get along well, and I mean, there's a certain dominance, things that go on and stuff like that. There's always like the alpha male or the alpha female.
The alpha somebody or other.
Yeah, I have an alpha male and an alpha female, and then I have like 2 or 3 that are kind of that way below them, but they know that they're below them, but they still know they're above the other cat.
Keeping everybody in line,
Yeah, exactly. It's like a parent with 10 kids. It's like gives the 2 oldest kids. It's like, okay, you take care of all these kids, and the older kids are like, no, you take care of those kids or whatever.
Wow. Yeah. So Remi, I have to thank you for indulging me and indulging us and being our guest. And it's been I could have put out the call and sort of just gotten some random people, but I just didn't want that for our first guest. I will admit that you weren't my first choice because number one, I just didn't think you were into it really because your health issues and stuff like that. But
19 cats. How do you find the time?
But I asked somebody who has like 100,000 subscribers and silence, no word back, and I asked somebody else who actually has a very small channel, but I just don't think they're on YouTube all that much. Anyway, I never received a reply back from them either. And then I was thinking, who do I ask? And then it's like, why am I not asking Remi Moore? He did this thing. And then I checked your about, Nines. I would love to have you on the show. You whenever you're ready, get in touch with me. And
that'd be a great show.
And then I was reading your about page again because I said, well, why don't I try? Let me look at Remi's stuff. And then you'd put your health issues right there on the page. And I was like, why don't I ask you again? or should I? Why don't I? And so I did, and I'm really happy that you obliged. And I think it's turned out really well. You look amazing here. It's like the voice from God almost. Eh? It's like tucked into the sun. It's awesome.
You've been elevated.
Yeah, the thing is, I can change out this sort of circle there, the sun animation, and put other things like a little force field or whatever, stuff like that. So change that out easily enough. But I think this sort of works, eh? And Nine says I would love to participate, and as I said, yeah, I'm happy to see Remi. Great idea. Yeah, thank you. And I think it was for anybody who hasn't checked out his channel, please do. And I'm going to say it again. You really are one of the hardest working people here on YouTube, and taking care of the people that you communicate with. And that's what I was going to talk about before. It's like this whole thing really has changed my outlook on getting involved with the community and not having it mean all capital letters and stuff like that, and we can go our own way and just sort of accept each other to the extent that we can, and I think that's really kind of awesome.
Yeah, and I think it was really just a really great way to meet people that, like, when we sort of forced ourselves to just go to these channels and try and band together, I know I exposed myself to things I really wouldn't have watched that I find myself watching and enjoying now or learning from. It's just like, wow.
Yeah,
I would have never known this existed.
Like there's a lot of windows into the human condition kind of thing, eh? It's not something that you classify as entertainment per se, but it's more like an aspect of human contact, kind of. And there's that dimensional.
That's a good way to put it.
Dimensionality that we get from video and audio that we just wouldn't get any other way, And now with the cell phones and anybody can really just start YouTubing, vlogging, holding their cell phone up to themselves, and we get more and more people than ever.
Or we get people
trying it
like
out.
Fish Sandwich who make an entire movie.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
true.
And I thought, he did a really good job with what he had to work with. So that's very impressive. We are over the hour. I just want to catch Healthy Vegan Living. Vegan Living says, that is a special person who save any animals. Of course, cats are special. But as a vegan, I believe it is our duty as humans to do this, save all animals who need us. I think that's a great thought to close out the hour.
Mhm.
Again, thank you, Remi, and thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
Yes.
our pleasure.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah,
Thanks very much.
So we'll let you go. Patricia Lamb just popped in and said, lurking, Remi, you're on the sun. He is the sun.
I am the sun.
All right. Bye-bye, all. Thanks so much.
Well, thanks for coming, everyone. And have a good Sunday.
Okay, 4, 5.